Blessings and welcome to the Path to Freedom. My name is Daniel Roquéo, and thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for choosing to spend a moment of expanding your consciousness and raising your vibration to come into an ever greater and grander expression of who and what you are, to come into an ever more expanded realization of what it is to be walking this path of freedom. Today we're talking about practice. The topic is come back, come back, come back. And this has to do with, I once heard someone say that the quality of our lives is dependent upon the level of practice that we have. There's another statement that goes, I once heard someone say that the quality of our lives is determined by our level of practice. And there's another statement that goes, practice makes perfect. You may have heard it. And while that's a beautiful statement, we want to be very aware of what it is we're practicing. Many of us are practicing worry. Many of us have fear perfected down to an art. And while we may perfect that, none of those low vibrations, none of those practices and perfections really serve us. So what we're talking about today is one of the most profound practices that I know. And when in every single conversation that I have, I would bet, that is about the spiritual path, I always come back to inviting both myself and whoever I'm having the conversation with to this one practice, which is the simple, basic, fundamental, but very, very powerful practice of coming back to the breath. Coming back to the breath. Coming back to the breath. If you've ever been in a meditation session with me, you've heard me say that, come back to the breath and begin again. Come back to the breath and begin again. And that is so profoundly powerful in all its simplicity. It is such a beautiful practice that I want to spend some time again. This is not the first recording. This is not the first time I'm speaking of coming back to the breath. But I want to spend some time again talking about it. What does the breath do? Or actually, what does it mean? Let's begin here. What does it mean to come back? Well, most of us, we move through life. We may have a meditation practice. We may begin our days in meditation, or we at some point during the day may have the time to, or have the intention to sit and meditate for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever the case may be. And while that's a beautiful practice, being in meditation, in formal meditation, for a certain period of time, and then the rest of the day completely forget ourselves or lose ourselves in the linearity of time, the past, present, and future. While the meditation is beautiful, if we forget about the presence, which is actually what the meditation is all about, being present, anchoring ourselves, centering ourselves in the nowness of this moment, if we forget about that for 24 and a half hours every single day, the meditation is not going to have that much impact on our daily lives. It's not going to have that much impact on the quality of our lives. It is it's a beautiful opening, it's a beautiful beginning, it's a beautiful start absolutely. But as we move through life, as we move from moment to moment to moment to moment, we need to find a way to come back to the nowness of this moment over and over and over again. Why? When we lose ourselves in time, the ego only exists in time. So when we lose ourselves in time, we are completely immersed, we're completely caught up by, we're completely pulled into, identified with, attached to whatever stories, whatever opinions, whatever judgments, whatever beliefs, whatever thoughts as to what should and should not be, whatever emotions we experience. We are completely one with that. So we need to find, and that's where the power of coming back to the nowness of this moment is. Whenever we come back to the nowness of this moment, whatever we used to be in identification with, whatever we used to be attached to, as we step out of time, as we come back to the eternal, come back to the nowness of this moment, we get to observe, we get to witness whatever thought forms, whatever emotions, whatever judgments, whatever opinions, whatever stories, whatever beliefs we used to be attached to. So whenever we step out of time, we become the observer, we become the witness of that, which means, in other words, we're setting ourselves free. We may be aware of being caught up in a story. We come back to the nowness of this moment. We're still experiencing the story. We're still hearing the mental chatter, the opinions, the judgments, or the beliefs, speaking about not being enough, not having enough, or whatever the case may be. We may still hear it. We may still be aware of it, but it is not running us because we are witnessing it. We are observing it. So, and the more often we are able to do this, the more balanced, the more harmonious, the more peaceful our lives will become. Because we're not constantly sleepwalking, but we continuously wake up from the sleepwalk, and we wake up, and we wake up, and we wake up. And in the nowness of this moment, when we're fully anchored and centered in the nowness of this moment, peace is, joy is, harmony is, wholeness is, drama is not, fear is not, worry is not, a sense of not being enough is not, a sense of not having enough is not. But peace and love and joy and harmony and wholeness and abundance, these are. So it goes without saying that the more we come back to the nowness of this moment, as these qualities are fully present in the nowness of this moment, the more we hang out here, the more we get to experience these, the more we get to allow for these to emerge into our lives. So come back to the nowness of this moment. Come back to the nowness of this moment. Come back to the nowness of this moment. And the most powerful and profound practice I know of coming back to the nowness of this moment, or tool that I use to bring me back, is the breath. It is so simple. It is so profound. The breath is always here. I don't need to put on a particular playlist or particular song. I don't need to go anywhere. I don't need to do anything other than just turn my attention toward the breath. So come back to the breath and begin again. Come back to the breath, being present with the breath. Realize that the body, with its divine intelligence, knows exactly how to breathe, when to breathe, how much air to breathe in. So we need not do anything with the breath other than observe it, other than witness it, be with it. Become aware of what it feels like as the chest falls and rises, or rises and falls, in whichever turn, in whichever end you want to begin. How the air flows in and out. Become aware of the peace that arises, the joy that arises, the love that arises. So we want to come back and begin again, and come back and begin again, and come back and begin again. And this is one of the most transformational practices there are. Because this is meditation. Meditation is being fully present in the nowness of this moment, observing, witnessing everything that is here, embracing and allowing that which is to be as it is. That's what meditation is. And we can be in formal meditation, or we can be in, I don't know what the other thing would be called, but informal meditation, which is using our moments in between, using every single moment that we remember to bring us back, to bring ourselves back to the nowness of this moment, so that we may move through life as a walking, living, moving prayer in a sense, so that we may tap into the peace that passes human understanding, the ability to be in peace even in the midst of turbulence and chaotic conditions and circumstances, even in the midst when our lives are perhaps falling apart, when structures are crumbling and dissolving, even in the midst of conflict, when we are with the breath, when we're not identified with the egoic need, false need to want to be right and to want to have the other understand where I'm coming from, or the sense that I need to validate myself, that I need to prove myself worthy, that I need to prove myself lovable. When we break free from these, when we, through coming back to the nowness of this moment, to coming back to witnessing, observing, when we release our attachment to these thought forms, we get to be peace in the middle of it all. In the middle of it all. So the way I practice this is by having the intention to be with my breath always. I'm not always able to, but it is my intention to, in every single moment, at least that I'm awake, when I'm not sleeping, not sleepwalking, but sleeping, every single moment, to have part of my attention be with breath, to have the breath to be my conscious companion in any given moment, in every single moment. So part of my attention is with the breath, and part of my attention is on the external world. So I get to walk with both feet, or with one foot in each dimension. One foot in time, as I'm moving through the world, and one foot in the eternal. The one foot in the eternal grounds me, it secures me, it keeps me safe from the insanity of the egoic structures of the world, of others' opinions and judgments, so that I get to be in peace, so that I get to enjoy, regardless of what is going on outside of me, in the external, regardless of conditions, regardless of circumstances, and regardless of the egoic reactions to them. So that's my invitation, that we come back, that we come back, that we come back every single moment that we remember, every single moment that we become aware of being trapped in time, we come back to the breath. And we stay with the breath for a few moments. It doesn't have to be long, just a few short moments, enough to break the attachment, to break the identification with incessant chatter in our minds, incessant opinions, judgments, and stories in our minds. So we come back, and we come back over and over and over again. And when this is the practice we perfect, my goodness, my goodness, our lives will be transformed, simply because of our not engaging in our minds. So that's my invitation. Thank you so much for tuning in, for listening, for participating. Till the next time, I bless our ways, and I bless all of our days. With much love, many blessings. Namaste.